March 8th, 2019. Samsung releases their new top-tier Galaxy line of phones, the S10 series. Some changes were present compared to the outgoing S9 series. A new ultrasonic fingerprint reader, a new hole-punch selfie cam at the top corner of the screen, as well as 3 size options. So what makes this a great flagship phone, and how does it hold up in late 2022? Greetings, humans, and salutations to all. I'm Jonathan from Jopa Tech, and if this is your first time checking out my videos, a sub to the channel would be spectacular. Now let's jump into my review of the Samsung Galaxy S10 in 2022. The Samsung Galaxy S10 weighs in at 157 grams and sports a 6.1-inch dynamic AMOLED HDR10 Plus hole punch display, which either confused people because the hole punch was off-center or was embraced by the diehards. The display of the S10 is an absolute treat for your eyes. The 1440 by 3040 resolution with that delicious HDR10 Plus treatment sure makes videos and games pop. Powering the S10 is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 octa-core chip with an Adreno 640 GPU for your graphics. You can have either 6GB of RAM with 128GB of storage, or 8GB of RAM with 128 or 512 of storage. Expandable micro SD storage is available up to 1TB. For the other goodies, you have up to Wi-Fi 6 support, Bluetooth 5.0, NFC, IP68 dust and water resistant up to 1.5 meters for 30 minutes, Gorilla Glass 6 on the front and 5 on the back, all sandwiched in an aluminum frame. The phone originally shipped with Android 9 Pie, but is upgradable to Android 12 Snow Cone along with Samsung's own One UI 4.1. Providing juice to the phone is a 3400 mAh lithium-ion battery with 25 watts wired charging and 10 watts Qi wireless charging. The phone can also reverse charge wirelessly at 4.5 watts. According to my AccuBattery app, this phone is sitting at 84% overall battery health, which is not bad considering its age and previous owner's usage. Onto the bottom of the phone, you have a loudspeaker, microphone, USB Type-C 3.1, and oh shit, a 3.5mm headphone jack. Wow, rest in peace, Tiny Jack. The later Galaxy S series phones will miss you. On the left side, you have a stupid Bixby assistant button and volume rocker. The right side houses the power and lock button. On top is a second microphone with SIM and micro SD combo tray. At the top of the screen is the earpiece and second loudspeaker with a 10-megapixel dual-pixel wide-angle hole-punch selfie camera in the right corner. Onto the rear, you are greeted by a creepy Android-looking Triclops with the Samsung name below as teeth. Yeah, can't unsee that. There's also dual LED flash and a heart rate sensor. Continuing on the cameras, you have a 12-megapixel dual-pixel wide-angle lens with OIS, a 12-megapixel telephoto with 2x optical zoom with OIS, and a 16-megapixel ultra-wide lens with super steady video. And previously mentioned, a 10-megapixel wide selfie cam. The pictures and videos on the S10 look really good. Not bad at all for a phone from early 2019. Colors look nice and sharp, and night images come out pretty darn nice. The zoom works well and can capture quite a bit of detail. Video stabilization keeps the videos smooth when in motion, and selfie shots look good too, especially in portrait mode. Now enjoy some of these images on my trip to downtown Toronto. As for the battery, I mentioned earlier in the review, this is the original battery with 84% state of health. On my trip to downtown Toronto, I took lots of photos and videos, as well as some light navigation and social browsing. By the time Harry Potter and the Cursed Child finished and I flew home on my Nimbus 2000, my S10 was sitting at a roughly about 15% charge, which is not bad again considering its age. If you were looking at purchasing an S10 or already own one, you can always have the battery replaced by a third-party technician to help get you a solid day plus a bit more. My Samsung Galaxy S10 is running on the latest software and security update. Samsung has stated quarterly security updates will end and move down to biannual security updates for 2023. What does this mean for you? Well, if security is so important, then you may want to look at something newer. But if you still have this phone or are set on purchasing it used, then I would say go for it. The previous owner of this S10 said she absolutely loved using it, and it gave her no problems. Well, what's not to love? Okay, sure, the screen is only 60 Hz refresh rate, but it is just crystal clear and looks stunning. Playing Asphalt 9 did drain the battery and get the phone warm, but in terms of load times and graphics, it was on par with the iPhone 13 Pro I was reviewing at the time. The RAM management is really good too. Keeping many apps open in the background left me with no reloads of smaller apps, but a full reload on Asphalt 9. Another point to mention is how this phone feels in the hand. Bare naked, the Galaxy S10 feels like any current flagship phone in late 2022. Thin, light, glass and aluminum frame as cold as my heart. Again, just a great phone to hold and to use. The ultrasonic underscreen fingerprint sensor blows away my LG Velvet with their optical fingerprint reader and unlocks the phone every time. Only a few times in the beginning did I have trouble with finger placement, but then the always-on display would let me know to move my finger slightly in order for the reader to catch my print. Overall, I think the Samsung Galaxy S10 is a great phone to use in late 2022. It has enough RAM with 8GB to power through your daily use and tasks, and if you are an audiophile, you will appreciate the 3.5mm headphone jack. Expandable storage and a beautiful screen are sometimes enough to convince people to spend their money, and if you can find one of these on the used market, make sure the price is right. Anywhere from $150 to $300 Canadian seems to be the average price here around Toronto, depending on condition and storage size. Thank you everyone for tuning in to my review of the Samsung Galaxy S10 in late 2022. Do you still have an S10? Did you used to have one? Comment down below your thoughts on it, and let's get chatting. I'm Jonathan from Jopatech, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.